back to another Hometalk Live. Today we have a cool project that you can use. It's perfect for this time of year because it's kind of entertaining season, and so more than likely you're having a lot of guests over into your home and things like that. But before we get started, first things first, I'm Amber Oliver. My Facebook page is tagged above, DIY at Home with me, Amber Oliver, and your Hometalk profile, my Hometalk profile, is linked in this video. So once you watch the project and you love it and you want to make it, you can actually follow the steps on my Hometalk page to this exact project. So what we're making today is a serving tray, and it's unique because you actually have two ways you can do this. There's the easy way and there's the not necessarily hard way, but definitely there's a more DIY way you can do this. So I'll explain first the full-fledged DIY way and show you just a couple of tools that I can use, that you can use to create this project. So what we're making is the serving tray. And so you've got a couple of options. And if you want to try to DIY this yourself, if you've got some tools in your garage that you've been itching to try out, one of them being a router. This is a really cool tool that I just want to kind of show you guys real quick. I know not everyone has power tools, but this is a really neat one, so I just want to show you in case you've never seen one of these before. And what this does is it's a router, so there's different bits you can put into the bottom of it, and it will actually shape the edge of your wood. So you know when you get wood from the store and it's normally, like 2x4s normally have a little bit of an edge on it, but most of the craft wood and things like that, it's just simple, blocky, the real hard edges and things like that. You can actually use this tool, you plug it in, you put your bit in, you run it along the edge of the wood, and it will actually make cool designs. You see this like kitchen counters and things like that, different edging. So this is just really fun. So this is one way you can do this project if you want to go full-fledged DIY. Head out to your garage, your wood pile, find some scrap wood, and use a router on it. Now, what I'm going to show you today is the easy way, so don't get, scared off by the power tools. But we are using a few power tools. It's just a drill, so more than likely, even if you don't have a garage full of, a workshop or something like that, more than likely you're going to have a drill in your home. Most homeowners have these, because if you've ever put up shelves or something like that, you've probably got a drill on hand. So I do have two of them. That's just to make this a little bit quicker whenever we're working, since we're live recording this. I've got them loaded. One has, a drill bit, and one actually has a driver bit. So the difference between that is one is going to make a hole, and one is actually we're going to use it to screw in the screw. So that's the difference between these two. And like I said, you don't have to have two. I just have it preloaded so that we're ready to jump into this project today. So now that we've got all the explaining out of the way, I know what you're really here for, and that's to see the magic happen. And so the only things you need for this project, I need to take a breath and slow down. I'm like really hyper today. A piece of wood. In this case, this is like straight up craft wood. This is from, I think I got it on Amazon. It's walnut hollow, but it's like you can find these in a craft store. So this one is, it's perfectly sanded, perfectly smooth. This is like ready for your project. There's no extra work you have to put into this, none of these tools like I mentioned. So this is the easy DIY way. And so you'll notice on the edge of this, let me go ahead and cut it open. You'll notice the edge of this is already finished, and so that's one less step you have to do. I'm just stripping this off. I wanted to leave this on so I could tell you what it was. So this is a basswood surface, and so you can find these in craft stores, Michael's, Home Depot, or Hobby Lobby, one of those places. You can also, now if you find something in Home Depot or Lowe's, they're usually not going to have sort of this finished edge. And so this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the broadcast when I showed you the router. You can see this edge here, how it has that nice lip. It's not just a blocky wood surface, like you might if you bought a piece of wood from a hardware store, it's just raw wood. This one is actually already finished for us. So we're going the cheater method today and just using this pre-made, this wood that's already ready for our project. So, and again, I'm just going to show you real quick that router because I think tools are super cool, and I hope you guys think they're cool too. I understand not everybody has these kind of tools on hand, but it's kind of cool to know what they do so that if you ever do have a project or something like that. So that edge could be made if you just had a piece of wood in your garage. You could actually make that with a router, and all you do is run that along the edge of the wood, and it sort of digs in and makes a design. So yeah, hope you guys like that. All right, so for this project, the only other thing you need besides your wood which you're either going to find in a craft store or in a hardware store and prepare it, or you're just going to buy it ready to go like this, are some handles. So again, these are just from a hardware store. You could also look on Amazon. Maybe you redid your kitchen cabinets and you ended up with a bunch of extra, then put these, grab these, pull them out of the garage, grab them next time you're on your Home Depot trip. Just grab 2 of them. These are really inexpensive, $3 maybe. This wood surface is around, I want to say $10 or $12, but also a super inexpensive project. So all we're going to do is we're going to attach these to the wood. This is going to make us a serving tray. So I'm going to get started with the measuring. That's the first thing I've got to do. And since I'm inside, I don't have my big tape measure, so I'm just going to use the this like little funny one, but it's nice because it actually lays flat and I like that. So these should be, because I bought them, and it actually gives you the measurements on there, since these are cabinet pools, and most cabinets are like standard sizes. This should be 3-inch, so I'm just going to measure just to make sure. All right, 3 inches. All right, so what we're going to do now is measure on either side of this wood piece, and we're going to attach these handles. Now, you could decorate this, you could stain it, you could paint it, you could decoupage, add your family photos, or monogram it and give it as a gift. There's lots of ideas of what you can do. I've got one ready that I've already made, so I can show you that as soon as we're done with this. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the measuring. So I mentioned that 3 inches is the standard size, and I did double check and make sure that it is actually 3 inches. So the other thing I need is a pen, so I'm just going to grab that. We're right here in my office, so everything is handy. But if you're anything like me, you normally get in the middle of a project and realize your battery's dead or something like that. So, and if you're just tuning in, we are making a serving tray. We've got a piece of wood here and some just door pulls that usually go on cabinet doors, but it's going to give us a neat little project idea. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and see where I want these handles. And I know that they're 3 inches apart, so I'm going to mark it on the wood, and then we're going to start drilling the holes. So let's see, that one at 2, 1, 2, 3, and this one at 5. So I've already preloaded my drill, and I've got 2 drills here. I've got an actual drill, and then I've got an impact driver. And again, you don't have to have 2 different drills. I just did that because it's much easier to have your everything kind of preloaded for our project. So the first thing, we've already marked the holes, but the next thing we need to do now is using this bit, we're going to make a hole because our screws don't have a point on them. Now, if these are just what came with the hardware. If they had a point, you could stick it in and just kind of drive it in with your driver. However, we don't have that, so we're going to have to do the extra step of making a hole for it. All right, so let's get started. So, can you see over there? Okay, so I've already marked the holes. I'm just going to use, I have to put the battery in. Step 1, load battery. So, and I like these Ryobi because the battery fits on all of them, so you can just kind of like pop off and move back and forth. And all right, so make sure it's going the right way, obviously. Make sure you're not going to hit into your table, and drill your hole. All right, now I'm going to try to make as little mess as possible since I'm inside doing this. Usually if you're in your garage, you can just kind of dust it off in the floor. Now, I did not stain this, and so if I decide to stain this or paint this, I'm actually going to do it after we do all this drilling and everything. The reason for that is because I like to do it that way, because I like to sand off where you make your holes and stuff, and if you've painted or something like that, it's sometimes, you know, you don't want to mess up your design or your stain or your paint. So, all right, so I've got the first drill, or the first hole drilled. Now I'm going to drill the second. And again, I'm just going to make sure I'm not going through the table. Switch it so it's going the right way, and get this drilled in. Now, Now, if you live in an apartment or something like this, where you don't have a big workshop or, you know, a lot of space outside, you can still totally do this project, because I'm here in my office in the house, and, you know, it does make a little bit of a mess, but there's no reason, like, you can't, you know, do this indoors. So don't let being, you know, an apartment limit yourself. I lived in an apartment 3 years, I think, and did a lot of DIY. I have a lot of projects on my blog that you'd never guess were actually done in an apartment, because we used to go on the roof, in the parking garage. We would go like everywhere we could if we needed to use tools and things like that. And we had like a closet just full of stuff. So you can make it work. I'm sure you guys do. There's a lot of talented people that visit Hometalk. So, all right, next up, we're just gonna attach these. And so what I like to do, it's kind of hard, right? Because you're like, okay, well, how do I get these through and attach it? So what I was doing when I made our test
Amber,
piece.
while you're working, can you describe what you're making?
Sure. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, we are using a piece of wood and some door pulls to build a serving tray. So you'll see, we're almost got it together, so you'll see here in just a second what it's going to look like. But the pieces we're using, this piece was already pre-cut and like the edges were routed, so it's nice and fancy. You can buy a piece like this already pre-done, or you can just use some scrap wood in your garage. You know, cut it to size, use the router on the edge of it, make it a little fancier, whatever works. But this is definitely kind of the cheater method, because the wood was already ready for us, and really all we're doing is attaching these drawer pulls. So now the screws didn't have a tip on them, so what I had to do was just drill some like pilot holes basically. So I measured that out, I drilled the holes, and now I'm going to attach the screws in so that we can put our handle on. Now, I've got 2 drills here, and that's just for the sake of time. This one's just an impact driver, so it just has a bit on the end that does the, you know, putting in your screws. It can't actually do the attachment like this one, but let's go ahead and attach these. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to put these screws in the back and go ahead and try to put well, I'll just show you. Hold on. So I'm putting the screw in. Make sure it's lined up. Okay, I got it in, but I don't want it to go all the way through. The main thing is here, it's poking out this side. I just want to start and make sure, first of all, that wow, I was really off. Hold on, make sure nope, it's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna attach this little guy, the handle, because it's kind of hard to line up when you've got it like flat on there. I'll show you here in just a sec. Might have to put that just a little bit further. So I'm basically just going to attach it to one side and then push the other one through. I guess I can go ahead and do them both at the same time. It's just lining it up is what the hard part is. So this is also magnetic, so that makes it a little bit easier. Let's see. And I forgot to mention, make sure you're dropping us some comments and let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We are down in Houston, Texas today. I'm wearing shorts because it's still like 80 degrees outside. So love to hear where you guys are all tuning in from and sort of how your week's going. Be sure to drop me a comment, let me know. Also, if you want to make this project, if you think this is kind of cool, that you think you can use it in your home, share it on your Facebook wall. You can tag someone who might like to try this themselves, or just share it on your wall as a way to kind of keep track of it for later. In the description of this video, there is a link to the Hometalk page that has the details for this project, so that you can get full step-by-step in case, you know, you forget something or need some links to different products and stuff. So I'm having a hard time getting that one on. I'm going to try this side. I just want it just through enough, because if it goes too high, then I can't turn it. So I'm just attaching this side. I'm a little sniffly. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So we've got that little handle on, and I just want to make sure it's not going on. Okay. I'm going to push it through all the way. And I should have put my hair back. I'm sure there'll be comments about that. Okay. Now that that's through, I actually have something to attach to. So this is a very simple project. However, there's like little weird things like this, how it's kind of hard to line up from the bottom to get something to attach. But let's see, almost on, and then I'll go ahead and attach the other side. So I'm just screwing that in, and then I'm gonna line this up and screw this other side on. If it's in. And my measurement was slightly off, it looks like. That might be the problem. So I measured it out at 3 inches, but it looks like it may have gone in crooked. I'm going to see if that's the problem or if it's the measurement. So I'm just going to undo this, switch this to backwards. I'm going to pull that screw out. Okay. Let's see. Are there any questions?
Well, we've got people tuning in from everywhere, Amber. Charlotte, North Carolina, Chicago. I saw a comment from Perth, Australia.
Oh, got some Aussies on.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Well, this project, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get the materials for this no matter where you live. It's just the door handles and a piece of wood, so it's a really simple project. I am having trouble getting it to go through. That's the hardest part. It's a simple project as far as the materials and things. There's just that annoying having to line it up perfectly that, you know, doesn't always work how you want it to. And of course, when you're on live in front of hundreds of people, it never wants to work right. So it's really hard to see if your little screw is lined up. And if you guys have a trick for this, like if you've done this on cabinets and you know some cool tricks, be sure to drop us a comment. Just let us know, because it doesn't look like it's lined up.
You're off just a tad.
Okay, I'm going to remeasure it. So that's okay. Things don't always work the first time. And the good thing about this is there may be some extra holes on the bottom, but because these handles have, you're not going to be able to see the holes. So I'll show you what I mean. All right.
Someone said it's Murphy's Law.
What's that?
It's Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it surely
It will.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, because this is supposed to be a very simple project, so of course it's not going to go perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is I'm just undoing this, and I'm going to check the measurements of this, make sure it's going the right way. Oop. Well, I'm going to strip my screw. There we go. Okay. I'm going to check the measurements real quick. This is supposed to be exactly 3 inches. So I'm guessing I got it off a bit. No, that's perfect, right? You guys are my proof here. 3 inches. It must have been crooked or something, because, yeah, that's exactly 3 inches. Magic, guys. I don't know. I'm going to try it one more time, because that should be working. If you've got a tip for putting these through on the bottom, drop those in the comments. Okay. I almost always forget to turn the drill the right way. I can't be the only one who does that.
So people are leaving comments and suggestions, but unfortunately on the phone, I can't read very long comments. So I'm getting comments about putting a pencil through the hole. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't read the rest of it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if that can line up. So if you're just tuning in, I am struggling to get this handle on here. But what we're doing is we're just making a serving tray. So it's just a piece of wood, and these handles here are so that you can carry it. I came up with this because, I needed one, and a lot of the trays I was finding, like in Hobby Lobby and stuff, a lot of them didn't have handles. They were those, like, flat trays that, I think they're more decorative than functional, and I needed something functional, so this is a fun way to, like, kind of customize it, because you can do different handles and that sort of thing, but I think you guys get the idea here.
You're getting a lot of support from your commenters.
Thank you guys. It's a struggle when, you know, everyone's watching and it doesn't go right. Yeah, it's just not lining up, but we've got the measurements right. We put out the 3 inches, so maybe I put it in the wrong hole. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening, because if you were on here just a minute ago, we just measured all of this. Let's see. Maybe I put this in the wrong hole. Let's just double check that. I'm going to put it flat.
One of our commenters, Phyllis, said she made a serving tray using horseshoe handles.
How did you attach it? Like welding or? I'm curious if you have a picture, drop it in the comments. I always go back and look at those comments.
Well, you'll have to this time. I'm getting a lot of comments. I can't read them all.
All right, guys, help me out. Let's see, what is the problem here? Because we've measured twice, and yet it's still off. So we've got, that's right at 3 inches, see, on both sides, and these handles are right at 3 inches as well.
One suggestion is that the drill bit is the wrong size.
Possibly, but
the screws are going through.
Yeah, the screws are going through, so that's, I mean, we saw them poking through, so that's not the problem. Let's say, third time's the charm. Let's try it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll show you the finished tray, which you may have caught a sneak peek of already. Let's see. Let's try going with this other side first and just see if that makes a difference. So I'm just driving. I've got it through so that I can attach the handle. All right, handle going on.
Oh, okay. So the comment by one of them, she's had to comment several times, mark the holes on the handle, and then if you can use that mark on the handle to transfer the pencil or the pen to the wood. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yes. I've also, like with chalk, you could also do a similar thing, I think, or like something wet. Okay, well, let's just try this one more time since I did this other side first, and let's see if it'll come through this time.
That's kind of the joy of watching these live videos, is that you get to see even the people that do this all the time.
We all make mistakes, and hey, nothing ever goes right the first time. That's, if you're part of the Hometalk community, you've seen we have these, you know, message boards essentially underneath all of our projects, so that if you try it and, you know, something doesn't work as well for you as it did for someone else, there's always someone there to like give you a tip or something like that. That's really why I love Hometalk. So thank you guys for your patience and sticking with me through this one. Live is not always fun. That's why I did mention the details for this project are in the description of the video. So if you're less visual and you just want to see the finished product, you can click over to there and find out. So it looks like it's not coming through again. So we've got that, and I just don't know because we measured it twice. Actually, we measured it 3 times now. So
maybe the other side is too tight.
That's a good one. Okay, let's try that. I also did this like 2 hours ago, guys, so I don't know why it's not working right now. Okay, I've loosened this side, so let's see. Yeah, that does give it a little bit more, some wiggle room. So let's see if that makes a difference with our...
There's a comment to use toothpaste, but I can't read the whole comment, so I'm not sure how that helps.
I know what they're talking about. Like when you're hanging a picture, you can do the same thing. You put toothpaste on the back.
Oh, is that to mark it?
Push it on the wall. Yeah, okay. But guys, it's marked correctly. I don't know if these are just going in crooked or what the deal is, but I'll give it one more little screw. Oh! Wait. Nope.
Careful.
It's not lined up. No. Okay, well, you get the idea, guys. Sometimes live does not go like you want it to. Actually, it feels attached, but whatever. Okay, so we've got the handle there, and I guess we could measure this and do another, or we can just wrap this up. You've got the idea. This is just a DIY serving tray, and you may have seen this sitting right next to us, but this is the finished version that I've done. And see, I had no problem with the handles on this one, so I don't know what the deal is with these, but...
Now, Amber, I see the word cheers here. Can you describe how you did that?
Sure.
What's that
so
about?
This is, I actually cut a little stencil. I don't have, like, perfect handwriting, so I use my, like, Cricut, like my electronic cutting machine. You can use to cut out a design, or just use a stencil from a craft store or something like that. You could put words, you could put, you know, a design and paint it, but this is wood burned, so I just marked the design, I burned it into the wood, and then after I drilled the holes for these, I went ahead and stained this and then put it all together. So this is just a serving tray you can use in your home. Now, I did not use any kind of special finish, so if you're wanting to actually put food like on the tray, I don't know, you might want to like, yeah, like a cheese board. You might want to look up and just make sure, because like I didn't use like eco-friendly stain. I just used like Minwax or something that I don't think you probably want to like eat directly off of. But there's, I think linseed oil is one that you can kind of seal your wood without it being damaging, like if you're going to put food on it. So this is the project. This is, again, there's 2 different ways. So this wood, it was just a piece of like plywood I had in the garage that I cut down with like a handsaw, and then I used this router and I actually did the edges of the wood myself. So this one just kind of has a rounded edge. But that shows you the 2 different ways you can do this, right?
People are leaving a lot of thumbs up. I think they like the finished product. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I'm so glad you'll love it. It really is a simple project. You just, I don't know, something.
You gotta have patience.
You gotta have patience because measurements, what is it? Measure twice, cut once, curse, buy more, start again, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm going to be able to put this, I'll fix it later, but you guys get the idea. This is really fun. You can do different handles. You could totally do this on a piece of round wood, like just kind of get crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Find different shapes and sizes. You can paint it. You can wood burn. Yeah, I used a wood burner for this, and that thing is super cool. I'd love to show you guys that, but it's so slow that you would all fall asleep and send me angry faces because this probably took like 30 minutes just to do
just the burning?
just to do the wood burning, yeah.
Okay.
But it is a cool technique. So, and the wood burners are only $15, I think. You can get them on Amazon, pretty inexpensive. So it's an inexpensive tool that you just want to kind of get it and play with it. But you can customize a lot of different things and projects with that.
So in the comments, we have a lot of good suggestions on how to fix measurements or try to attach the handles on there, but how would they find out more information if they wanted more?
So this project, if you want to see just this quick step-by-step, it's linked in the profile above or in the description of this live video. And if you're tuning in live, thank you guys for watching with us in real time and seeing that things don't always work out as the very first time. So thanks for your patience, and I hope you guys will try this project. Drop me a comment. My Facebook page is tagged above, DIY at Home, and I'm also on my Hometalk profile where you can find this project with all the details. We've also linked to the actual wood that we've used and some of these tools if you want to try it the more DIY route. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to turn on notifications so you can see our live shows anytime one of the Hometalk live hosts come on. They'll send you a notification right to your phone so you can pop in and see what we're making. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a great weekend. We're almost to Friday, so enjoy your time, and thanks for watching.